This fight was extremely close. Magomed Ankalaev defeats Alex Pereira by unanimous decision, 149-46 from Sal D'Amato, which is crazy, and 2 48-47s, which are more reasonable. He is now the new light heavyweight champion, but there are a lot of people that think that the fight was a robbery. Now, watching the fight live, it didn't seem like it was a robbery. It seemed like either fighter could have won, but Magomed Ankalaev won 3 rounds out of the 5. They scored it rounds 2, 3, and 4 for Magomed Ankalaev, rounds 1 and 5 for Alex Pereira. Round 3 was the closest of the entire fight. And that's the fight we're going to be looking at to determine if the judges actually got the fight correct. Because rounds 1 and 5, 100% went to Alex. Rounds 2 and 4, 100% went to Magomed Ankalaev. It was the third round that could have went either way. It just depends on who landed the more damaging shots. Now, to preface, merely just holding the opponent, controlling them on the fence, is not going to trump damage. In the 4th round, Ankalaev was able to win by controlling Alex up against the fence because there was like nothing else that happened the entire round. If Alex landed some decent shots, he would have won that round if all Ankalaev did was hold him up against the fence. That's why in the 5th round, it was scored for Alex. Because even though, for like the last part of that round, Ankalaev was holding Alex against the fence, but Alex landed enough shots before that to win the round on damage. Damage trumps everything when it comes to effective striking. The impact of the shots. Control is actually the last of the criteria. In fact, it's even after aggression. Ankalaev did not win the 4th round because of octagon control. He won the 4th round because of aggression, and he landed the more strikes. But in rounds 1 and 5, Alex won those rounds based on damage, just like Ankalaev won round 2 based on damage as well. So this is what the scoring criteria says about effective strike. Quote, legal blows that have an immediate or cumulative impact with the potential to contribute towards the end of the match, with the immediate weighing in more heavily than the cumulative impact. That's effective striking. We don't have to look at effective grappling because there really wasn't any in terms of scoring the rounds. So pretty much the most damaging shots, the ones that have the most impact, is what wins rounds. It trumps cumulative. Cumulative is essentially going to be the number of strikes that landed, right? So for an example, if one of the fighters land 20 strikes, but none of them are really that powerful, and then the other guy lands like 5 decent shots, the guy who landed 5 decent shots should win the round. As Big John McCarthy has said, they made the scoring to be defined by damage more than anything else. But what does impact mean? So this is how impact is defined in the scoring criteria. Quote, a judge shall assess if a fighter impacts their opponent significantly in the round. Even though they may not have dominated the action, impact includes visible evidence such as swelling or lacerations. Impact shall also be assessed when a fighter's actions using striking and or grappling lead to a diminishing of the opponent's energy, confidence, abilities, and spirit. All of these come as a direct result of impact. When a fighter is impacted with strikes by a lack of control and or ability, this can create defining moments in the round and shall be assessed with great value. Unquote. Pretty much the reaction of a strike that damages the opponent. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the 3rd round, because both fighters landed strikes. The control against the fence or any of those wrestling exchanges is not going to really matter too much unless strikes are landed with it. And to categorize the strikes in accordance to damage the most accurate way we can, we'll be looking at the strikes as light, medium, and heavy to determine who won the 3rd round. So the first strike of the round, Ankalaev throws a push kick to the body. He landed this throughout the fight. This is the first for the 3rd round. Pushes Alex slightly away, but not a damaging shot. But then he lands a much better outside leg kick, blasting Alex's leg on the inside. You can see how much of the stance he takes away with that kick. Much better shot than the push kick. Then he lands an inside leg kick, not as powerful as the outside leg kick, but decent enough, better than the push kick. Then he throws a side kick to the hip, and it grazes right past it. Really like no damage with that shot as Alex is angling away from it. Then Alex throws an outside leg kick, which Ankalaev checks and pressures Alex after. Another push kick to the body. This one sends Alex back even more. And comparing it to some of the leg kicks of Alex, you don't see as much of a reaction from the leg kicks. I understand the push kick is meant to create space and push the opponent back. I think the push kick should get more respect than I originally gave him. And then Ankalaev lands a jab, trying to line up the left straight, which slightly misses. It's off an angle to the right, causing the punch to miss the target. Alex not really throwing many strikes at all, up until he lands an inside leg kick to the thigh of Ankalaev, but not much damage with the kick. Then Ankalaev counters by stomping into the knee. Both shots not that impactful. Another push kick from Ankalaev as he's raising the knee and then pushing into the body to push Alex away. Very similar to the one before. And so far, Ankalaev is just winning off of volume. He's just landing more shots. Nothing really too impactful, but just throwing and landing more. Alex is just super defensive, nearly 2 minutes into the round. But then he lands an inside leg kick to like the inside of the knee, better than the last one he landed. Now, Alex throws an outside leg kick and Ankalaev turns his knee outward to check it, but the kick lands on the outside of the knee, so it doesn't get checked. Alex is able to land the kick just on the outside of the knee. He paused at the face, reaching his hand forward as Ankalaev is trying to land his left. Not to mistake this with a jab, he's just reaching with his left hand. Another inside leg kick from Alex. Doesn't get much of a reaction out of Ankalaev, right? Doesn't blast out the leg one way or imbalance his stance or anything like that. Ankalaev actually shoots a takedown, which gets defended by Alex. Alex reverses the position and lands with his forearm across the head. The best shot of the round so far, but none of the shots are really that powerful. So outside leg kick from Ankalaev, really not much with that kick. And then Alex lands an inside leg kick. Doesn't really get much of a reaction out of Ankalaev. Again, doesn't take away his stance or blast his leg out or anything like that. Ankalaev just keeps walking forward. Now Ankalaev throws a side kick to the knee, but because of the camera angle, we don't know if it lands at all. Either he landed it to the knee or Alex moved away from it. Because you do see Alex move his legs away, but was it enough to get away from the kick entirely? We'll come back to it if we have to, but I don't think it's going to change who wins the round because it just wasn't a powerful kick. Now Ankalaev throws another push kick, but he hits the arm kinda into the body as well. Really not much with that kick either. Another slight jab from Ankalaev at the very end of the punch. Another jab from Ankalaev. Hard to see from the camera angle, but it looks like it may have landed at the very end of the punch. Two decent inside leg kicks from Alex. Grazes with the outside leg kick. Ankalaev punches the chest with the left hand. Now they collide and throw punches at each other, and Alex is able to land with a grazing left hook behind the ear, slides behind the head after. Not the most powerful punch, but he landed the shot, and then Ankalaev counters him with a much better knee to the body. That gets a good reaction out of Alex, the biggest shot of the round so far. Ankalaev lands one punch against the fence, lands a jab to set up the right straight, but Ankalaev is able to slip on the inside of the right straight. Now after Alex trips Ankalaev, he throws a left hook, trying to land the punch as Ankalaev is rising back up to his feet, and look how close that punch gets. It could have just nicked him slightly, but we'll come back to it if we have to. It looks like the punch may have missed though. If it missed, it was by a millimeter. If it landed, it had a very light impact. Jab from Ankalaev as Alex misses the left hook. If that shot landed, the fight could have been very different. Two big left hooks that just missed for Alex. And then we go to this exchange. Ankalaev throws a left straight, and Alex slips on the outside of the punch, countering Ankalaev with the right hand. This is something that he didn't really do too much throughout the fight, but you see the impact of the strike. Biggest strike of the round so far, and then the left hook. Seems like it hits the forehead, grazes off of it, but there's impact from that punch as well. Alex slips his jab, but Ankalaev was able to touch Alex's chin at the very end of this left straight, but there was like no impact from that strike. Then Alex lands 3 inside leg kicks. The first and third are light. The second one is in between a light and a medium, but the third one, it looks like Ankalaev went to check it, but as you can see, Alex's foot lands above the knee for getting checked. Side kick to the thigh from Ankalaev, pushing him away. Grazing jab from Alex, followed by a grazing left hook from Ankalaev. Both of those punches very light. Then Ankalaev lands a good punch, and it's only a jab. So he lands a jab to the jaw of Alex, gets a better reaction, and causes him to cross his feet as he's trying to get away. The most powerful strike of the entire round. It's either that or the knee to the body. Inside leg kick from Alex. Both fighters land a grazing jab. Alex to the body, Ankalaev to the head. Another inside leg kick from Alex. There is a high kick from Alex, but doesn't look like it landed. The camera angle is not the best though. Alex grazes the knee with his toes as he's throwing a kick. I don't even know what we count that for. Would that technically be counted as a check? But it does kind of start at the side of the knee and then graze across it. Ankalaev throws I think a body kick. Camera angle completely blocks the view of it, but it looks like Alex went to block the kick too. This high kick is blocked and it doesn't go into the head of Alex. Alex picks up his hand to block it and moves his head away from the kick too. And you can tell by the way that Ankalaev threw the kick. He didn't throw the shin into the head, right? He didn't rotate his hips. It almost came up like a front kick. So it hit the arm and then it just kept going up. And that is the end of the third round. So not a round with a lot of big strikes, but there are a few more damaging strikes that should make a difference here, as immediate impact trumps cumulative impact. So the more damaging the strike is, the more they're going to weigh in who wins the round. By tallying up all the damage, I gave the round slightly to Magomed Ankalaev. Very, very close round, but I think Ankalaev overall landed the more damaging shots. Originally, I didn't score the push kicks as much as I should have, and the jab as well. I gave the jab the same amount of damage as Alex's right hand initially, when it shouldn't be. It's definitely a more powerful shot, it had much more impact. The punch seemed to have stunned Alex somewhat, so the knee to the body was a big strike. I think overall, they both had about the same amount of total strikes. The round is scored on damage, and it looked like Ankalaev won slightly on damage. So, did the judges get the fight correct? They did. Even though it was a very close fight, I originally thought Alex won the fight, but after reviewing the fight a few times, I do think giving the fight to Magomed Ankalaev is 100% reasonable, and there definitely should be a rematch. The fight was way too close. Like, if Ankalaev absolutely dominated him every round, that would be different. But because the fight was so close, because Alex had a few title defenses, and honestly, it's the biggest fight you can make in the light heavyweight division, they should do Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. Get the rematch going, a few fine-tuning from both fighters, they could completely change the fight. If Alex counterpunched a lot more, I think he would have had a lot more success. If Ankalaev can change up the way he was wrestling, because man, Alex stuffed every single takedown, which was the most surprising thing about the fight. If he could take down Alex, that would give him a much much bigger advantage in the rematch. But if he can't take down Alex in the rematch, I think Alex will make the adjustments in the striking, give him a better chance of winning the rematch. I had to go back and score the fight again. I think I went through it way too quickly. I do these videos very quickly, and sometimes I'm like rushing through it, especially as late as it is. I mean, it's 7 in the morning. I need to take more time scoring these fights, and I think I didn't give the push kicks from Ankalaev as much credit, and also the jab as well. I do think the jab from Ankalaev was the biggest shot, and it shouldn't be the same as the biggest shot from Alex. And I think the knee as well to the body was bigger than I originally scored it as well. So now, whether you guys agree or disagree, I hope you guys at least enjoy the breakdown. And if you guys did, make sure to give it a like, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video, where I'll be talking about the whole card, because this is not the only fight where a lot of people disagree with the decision.